I first learned about Mother Jones in Heaven from Cy Kahn, the author, at the Folk Alliance International Conference in Toronto. We were standing in the middle of the exhibition hall, just catching up. We'd met before, and we started talking about theater and the place of music in theater. And the next thing I know, he was telling me about Mother Jones in Heaven, a play that he'd written about the infamous labor organizer, Mother Jones, Mary Harris Jones. As he was talking, he began to recite segments of the play. He sang some songs just there with all the people milling around. I lit up like a Christmas tree. I had goosebumps. I felt as if my destiny was calling. I had just finished a tour of my own solo show, The Bark and the Tree, to New York and a couple of other theaters around, and it was as if I was being shown what my next project was going to be. It's taken me 3 years to actually accept the fact that Mother Jones in Heaven is a reality for me. The script is beautiful. We've had an opportunity to work on it over the summer. We met with Cy Kahn and Matt Schicker and workshopped the play in front of an audience in costume, and had the opportunity to actually get to know the character in action, seeing how an audience reacted, listening to the songs and the placement. And overnight we reordered the first act with Cy and performed it again on Saturday night. That experience has led me as a performer to a new level of trust of an audience, a new level of trust in my own organic process, and a new level of trusting the script and trusting the music. Being able to simply lean in and trust that the words and the songs are going to carry the day, and all I need to do is be present for that in-the-moment experience, was transformational for me. Mary Harris Jones was born in Cork, Ireland, and was moved to Toronto, Canada. So it was not unusual that Cy and I met in Toronto. Admittedly, it was at a Hilton. But Mary Harris moved there when she was 14 years old. She had a hellacious life. That alone fascinated me. It was about what she did with the pain and suffering that she had in her own life, how she turned that into helping others. She lost 4 children and her husband to the yellow fever epidemic in 1867 in Memphis. Shortly after that, when she had fled to Chicago to heal and to become a seamstress, or take up her seamstress business again, she lost everything in the Chicago fire. Why she didn't end up a raving lunatic just standing on a corner ranting at people, I'll never know. She took all of that experience and learned how to speak to people who were suffering. She chose coal miners and the children in the mills and any working class person who was being marginalized, poorly paid, working in slave conditions, and she worked tirelessly for them until the day she died. She lied a lot. She told a lot of really tall tales. It's hard to know some of the history, whether it was actually fact or fiction. What we do know is that she was a hellraiser, and she made a difference in this country, and she made a difference in the labor movement. I'm a proud union member myself, Screen Actors Guild and the American Federation of Radio and Television Artists. I have been since 1996. I believe that as a collective, we are able to do the right thing for everyone. If it's not right for the one person, we need to find out how to make it right, because that affects all of us. Playing Mary Harris Jones it's a trip. I swear, when I first got handed the script, you know, after I'm like standing there shaking in the middle of this Hilton in Toronto, and I'm finally got up the nerve to say, could I see the script? And so I said, sure. And he brings me the script, and I started reading it, and I was like, oh my God. And it sat in a cupboard, and I would bring it out like every couple of months, and I'd read it again, and I'd listen to the songs, and I fell in love with the music. And then I thought, I don't know if I've got what it takes to play this person. And it was as if she just sat there in a corner of the room, just giving me the walleye, like, you know, preaching the evils of cowardice while I wrestled with my own fear about not being enough to actually play her. I've finally overcome that. And we seem to be getting along really well. Interestingly enough, Mother Jones did not support the suffragist movement of her time. I was a little floored by that. In fact, it actually kind of made me a little angry. I was like, what do you mean you weren't going to support women and the vote? And then I understood why after reading up on it. She and understanding her perspective on it. She said a couple of things that were really wonderful. She said, you don't need the vote to raise hell. And she also pointed out that working class women, if you gave them the vote, there wasn't going to be anybody on the ballot that they could vote for that would make any change in their favor. So what was the point? I understood that, and what makes it so profound for me is that we're still fighting these battles today. I don't have the skill and the tools that an organizer like Cy Khan, who worked for 52 years, over 50 years, organizing communities, working for the unions. Those skills are, they're mystifying to me. I think they're just incredible. The skill that I have is as a storyteller and as a singer. And this is my opportunity to make a difference by bringing Mother Jones to life.